It is so great seeing my next guest back in action. He's going to be fighting at UFC Fight Night, March 26th. It is Bruno Souza joining me here on the program for the very first time. Bruno, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Fantastic. You know, like I love to do these things. I love to talk about fighting. Let's rock.
Well, that's great. I like to talk about fighting too. We see you're live on location at the gym right now. Did you just finish a training session or are you about to go train?
Actually, I just finished and I'm waiting for the next one. I do my condition training right here too at CMMA. You know, they have a good facility. They have everything. So I did my condition at about 7:30.
Okay, nice.
So I'm waiting to the noon. So it doesn't work for me to go home and come back. So I just stay here.
Well, I appreciate you making time for the interview. I know you got a busy schedule. When did you find out about this fight? It seemed like you got a full training camp this time.
Oh, that's amazing, right? Yeah. Last time I had days. Now I had like 8 weeks. I was even doing the joke. Usually I got like 4 weeks training camp, right? Usually. Last fight was exception. And I was telling my coach, I was like, so let's do like this. Let's wait 4 weeks, and then we start in 4 weeks to 4 weeks training camp because that's what he used to. Just joking, of course. Yeah. No, I found out Thursday last week. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Thursday, I was exactly in the same spot that I am right now. You know, like they offered, like I was like, yeah, I know the guy. I watched his last fight. I actually like it. I watch with my wife. We love watch fighting, so that's what we do. You know, even about his movement, and I was like, oh, that's cool. It kind of move like, you know. And it's funny because when I got the offer, I was like, oh, I know him. Yeah, good fight.
Yeah, no, it's a really awesome matchup. Do you know where the card is yet? Have they announced the location, or are you still waiting to hear that?
I have a location on the contract. It says Columbus. But I don't know.
Ohio. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Because of okay, of course. Yeah, I wasn't sure about that. So that makes sense.
They can change. They can change, but
right.
That's
because they lost the main event of that card. It was supposed to be Blachowicz and Rakic, and I don't know if they're going to rebook that or what's happening there. So I guess TBA. We'll have to wait to see what happens, right? As they say. Yeah. So there we go.
Sometimes they move back to Las Vegas. You know, when these things happen. So I don't know. Doesn't matter for me. You know, like
no, absolutely. You mentioned it there, the debut. I know it was short notice. What did you take away the most from that fight? Because it was a really tough UFC debut that you had.
Yeah, no, a lot of things actually. But I think the most important part, like the good side of it, is that I'm confident that I can fight whenever, however, you know, like if I fought a really tough opponent, you know, Melsik's no joke, and we still managed to do a game plan with whatever we had in hand to try to be competitive on that fight. You know, of course, that's not what I like. I don't like that performance, you know, but I'm sure Melsik doesn't like his performance too. You know, we could do better. But that's it, you know, like give me a lot of confidence I can fight whenever, whatever. And of course, some things on my game that I took away, you know, some volume strikes, some things that I can get better. But I knew that I had to get better at a point and just click it, you know, and try to mix. It's hard. Try to mix the karate style with the counter strike style with the offensive. But we are working on it, and I know I'm still young, so I have time.
Yeah, no, very well said. Let's talk about your opponent here. 15-7 record. What do you know about him? How do you feel like you match up against him here?
I think it's a good striking matchup. We both like to move a lot, you know. So it's gonna be who can find the distance first, you know, like who can start to hit first. He kicks, he moves, he has a good jabs. I'm pretty sure I have all of that too, you know. So it's gonna be fun. This is the type of matchup. It's the type of matchup that I like, you know. It's that chess game, you know. Who's gonna get the inch first, and then from there anything can happen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you talked about camp there. Who have been some of the main training partners that you've been working with ahead of this fight?
Yeah, it's funny to you know Victor Henry?
Yeah, of course. Who couldn't know Victor Henry? What a win he got a few weeks ago in the UFC.
Exactly. So he's a guy that helped us a lot. Not only myself, you know, we're friends for a while right now. You know, so we've been working on it. Shane Collins too. It's one of our amateurs, dude. Just on that note. The amateurs on CMMA are no joke, you know. Like we are destroying anyone that's crossing our path. So these boys, they had the best opportunity to train with us, and train. Like the only difference in the end of the day that I was telling Dan, sorry to go a little bit outside,
Oh
but
no, go for it. Yeah.
is that the only difference between them and us right now is the experiences. Is that we can do whatever they do here in the training in the high stage, but they're really good wrestling wise, striking wise, you know. And of course, that's a bunch of other fighters fighting the day before I am. I don't know if they actually book all the fights that we are supposed to, but we have at least two fighters that are fighting in the LFA a day before us. So Chad George is my head coach, is going crazy. Probably he's gonna fly like right after to be in the fight with me. And like a lot of these guys, you know, like Chase Gibson gonna be fighting the day before. You know, Lou, it's a heavyweight, he's gonna be fighting the day before. We have a pretty good team, you know, and we're just starting.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. You mentioned Victor Henry. How inspiring was that win? Because he was a big underdog in that fight, and he took out a really tough, underrated fighter in Barcelos.
Like when they got the call in December for the first fight, Chad texted me out. Oh, you know, Raoni is Brazilian. You know, like I was like, yes, I know him. Like not because I never met him. I know him because he's in the news. You know, like he has a lot of name in Brazil since he's a kid. So like it's not normal you have a Brazilian that had such good wrestling background. He was like national team in wrestling, such a good jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai. So I was like, dude, it's a tough fight. But Raoni, it's really explosive and he kind of fade out, right? Like normal, everybody gets tired. And Vic is completely the opposite. He's going up. So I think like I told him, like if Vic can find the pace, and I think Raoni gonna be really dangerous in the first round, and then after Vic is gonna like just pick him apart, and that's what happened, you know, like because Vic, it's annoying, you know. I start training with him, that's what he does with us every day, you know, like he's on your face the whole time you were punching him, and he don't stop coming. So, and I told Chad, I was like, look, Raoni's a guy that had name in the UFC. Vic is not young. He even said in his post-fight interview. So that's a perfect fight. And he gonna put him in a good spot if he win, and that's what happened.
Yeah, certainly did. It was a great performance here. Back to your fight. How do you envision the fight playing out on March 26th? I know you feel like you're going to win, otherwise why sign the contract? But how do you see the fight playing out?
Good point, right? Why you accept a fight?
It's true. You know, it's pretty obvious. Obviously, if I ask you how the fight's going to go, you're not going to say, "Well, I think I'm going to lose," right? You know, so.
Sorry, but like when people ask in the fight week, oh, how was the training camp? I'm never gonna say it went bad.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. That's why I try and phrase it a little bit. That's why I try and ask, you know, hey, who are you working with? You know, maybe there's some new training partners. You never know, right? So.
No, definitely. Again, it's that inch game, right? I believe I can manage the distance better. Because it's a little bit longer, but I have more footwork than him, you know. So I believe I can pick him apart from the outside because he's used the guys coming to him, and I can do the same, but keeping the distance. So I think that's what's gonna happen, and like pick my strikes, you know. And again, it's an inch game. Whoever get ahead, anything can happen: a knockout, a submission, or even a decision.
Obviously, really, really big fight. I know the focus is on that. What do you like doing outside of training? Like, do you have any other interests? I don't know if you watch any other sports, you play video games, you watch Netflix. What do you like doing when you're not training?
Good question. I do. Look, I am crazy about soccer. Like,
oh, awesome. Okay.
I'm not good at playing, but like right now, I watch like podcasts every day, the whole day about soccer.
So I'm Canadian. Do you know we beat the El Salvador last night, which is huge because Canada's traditionally has not been very good at soccer, but we've been on a roll right now.
Yesterday, I hear exactly they talking about the World Cup, and they were talking about really good about Canadian that you're probably gonna beat the next World Cup, you know, and you can end up in the Brazil group. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy just because, you know, we're known for hockey and other sports, right? But for soccer, it's just really cool to see them have success after all these years. Like I've grown up and they've never been like outstanding. So it's been kind of cool to watch. Who's your favorite soccer team? Do you have like a favorite league or favorite team?
Oh, that's hard because you're never going to know.
And I should say football. Do you call it football or you call it football, right?
Please. Yeah. Let's be obvious. It's a game that you play with a ball and you kick it for foot, right? So
yes. I
Like,
agree. I agree. It should be called football, and they should call football something else, like like American football. They should call it. I don't know,
we
but I'm with you there.
do, but I like to call American rugby because
Yes.
that's it is.
No,
Just
for
joke.
sure.
You're
No,
gonna
no, no,
hate
for sure, for sure, for sure. Bruno, thanks so much for doing this, man. We're really looking forward to the fight. It's UFC Fight Night, March 26th. If there's anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media you want to plug, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, no, like the guys that are with me, of course, my team, CMMA, you know, my cheetahs always with me, and my sponsor is Crazy Box. You know, have you ever saw my boxers? It's the best. It's the best. It's crazy. You know, like the partnership. It's funny because I always use the boxers even before. You know, like my wife liked it, I like it, and they like the idea. They like MMA too. You know, and but that's pretty much it. That's pretty
Cool.
much it. But thank you very much.